General Hospital spoilers. Carly exposes Nina's secret crimes. Willow shattered. Gives up custody in a tearful goodbye. Port Charles reels from another wave of explosive drama as Nina Reeves' carefully buried crimes come to light, thanks to a determined Carly Spencer. In a storyline that promises betrayal, heartbreak, and ultimate redemption, General Hospital fans are about to witness a custody bombshell that will forever alter Willow's life and the fate of her children. It began with a whisper, soft, uncertain, but impossible to ignore. Carly Spencer had been many things in her life: a firebrand, a fighter, a mother, and a survivor. But this time, she was something far more dangerous to her enemy: suspicious. After weeks of uneasy silences, side glances, and unexplained absences, Carly couldn't shake the feeling that Nina was hiding something far more sinister than just her usual petty manipulations. She wasn't wrong. While Nina had managed to worm her way back into Willow's life through the tender guise of a reformed grandmother, Carly saw cracks. The redemption story didn't match the woman she knew. And Carly's gut, honed over years of deception and survival, told her that Nina's redemption was a mask, and it was slipping. So she dug. And what she found would unravel everything. The first crime Carly uncovered was older, buried, and yet devastating in its implications. Years ago, Nina had discovered that Willow was her daughter, but chose to withhold that truth, not out of kindness, but out of spite. At the time, Willow was fighting leukemia, facing death, and needed a bone marrow donor. Nina had refused to be tested, knowing full well that she could potentially save Willow's life. Carly had always suspected there was more to the story, but now she had confirmation. Nina had falsified test results using a contact at GH to delay any connection being made. Willow almost died because of it. Carly confronted the hospital administrator privately, and though they begged her not to go public, the truth was too damning. She had the paperwork, the text messages, and now the motive. But that wasn't the end of it. The second crime was fresh and deadly. Nina had been working with Brennan, the disgraced WSB agent responsible for numerous covert criminal operations in Port Charles, including Jason's near-death experience and Anna's scandalous takedown in Argentina. Documents unearthed by Spinelli, working off a tip from Carly, showed wire transfers from Nina's shell company to Brennan's associates. She hadn't just been passive in Brennan's schemes, she was funding them. Nina, it seemed, had been feeding Brennan intel about the Corinthos family in exchange for leverage against Sonny and control of the Crimson Empire. Her betrayal didn't just break moral boundaries, it broke federal laws. And now, Carly had the evidence. It all came to a head at the Metro Court. Fittingly, the very hotel Nina had stolen from Carly in one of her many power plays. Sonny was there. So was Willow. Even Michael, who had been slowly warming to the idea of a truce with Nina, was present when Carly strode into the room holding a thick red folder. "You told me to let go of the past, Nina," Carly began, voice trembling with fury. "But the past didn't let go of you. It just waited for the right moment to burn you alive." Nina tried to interrupt, but Carly was relentless. "You let your daughter nearly die because of spite. You chose vengeance over love. And when that wasn't enough, you teamed up with Brennan. Yes, Brennan. You gave him access, money, and information. You're not a victim. You're a criminal." Gasps echoed through the room. Willow staggered back, nearly knocking over a chair. Sonny's face darkened. "Is this true?" he asked, eyes narrowing. Nina stammered. "I was trying to protect you. Brennan promised. He said he'd take care of threats to the family, to Crimson. I didn't know how far it would go." "You knew exactly how far," Carly snapped. Willow couldn't breathe. Everything she had come to believe, the fragile, blooming hope that her mother was a changed woman, had just been ripped from her heart. The woman she had welcomed into her life, the woman she had led around Wiley and Amelia, had tried to bury her truth and align with a man who had nearly destroyed Jason, her brother-in-law. She fled. Michael caught up with her outside on the patio. "Willow, wait, please." But Willow shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "I let her in. I let her raise our children. What kind of mother does that make me?" "You didn't know." "But Carly did," Willow said quietly. And she had to find proof because deep down, I didn't want to believe it. And now, I'm ashamed of the choice I made. I don't deserve to be their mother. The next morning, Willow made a heartbreaking decision. She sat Michael down and told him what she couldn't bear to carry anymore. I need to step back. I need to figure out who I am away from all this. And until I do, I want you to have full custody of Wiley and Amelia. Michael protested. So did Carly and even Jocelyn, who tried to convince her she was being too hard on herself. But Willow was firm. I need to fix what's broken inside me before I can be a good mother to them. They deserve someone strong, someone who won't make excuses for evil, just because it came with a smile. She packed a single suitcase and walked out of the Quartermain mansion. Meanwhile, the fallout for Nina was swift. Sonny told her to leave the penthouse. You crossed too many lines, he said, his voice void of emotion. I warned you once. I gave you a second chance. There won't be a third. Olivia rescinded her offer to co-manage the Metro Court. Maxie told her she was stepping down from Crimson unless Nina resigned. I can't be associated with you, not anymore. You're toxic. Even Valentine, her former lover, looked at her with disgust. You've become the very person you used to cry about. Congratulations. With the evidence from Carly now in the hands of the FBI, Nina faces not just social exile, but prison time. As Nina prepared for her indictment, Willow checked into a quiet wellness retreat outside New York. She began therapy, working through the trauma of her past, the cult, the cancer, the betrayal of a mother she desperately wanted but never truly had. There, she met a woman named Sister Abigail, a former nurse-turned-monk, who helped her find clarity. You were never broken, she told Willow one evening under the stars. You were simply bruised by too many people who never knew how to love. The word stuck. Back in Port Charles, Michael struggled as a single father, juggling Yelku, the kids, and his own grief over Willow's departure. That's when Carly stepped in, not just as a grandmother, but as a mother to Michael. I'll help, she told him. We do this as a family. We pick up the pieces, even when the pieces are people. But the real surprise came when Sasha Gilmore offered to help with the kids. I know what it's like to lose everything, Sasha said gently. Let me be there for them. And for you. Michael looked at her, eyes misting. A new bond was forming. 2 months passed. Then a letter arrived. It was addressed to Wiley and Amelia, but Michael read it first. To my beautiful children. I miss you every second. I think of you when the sun rises and again when it sets. I left because I didn't want my pain to become your burden. But I'm healing. And soon, I'll be strong enough to come home. Until then, know that you are loved, fiercely, endlessly, purely. Love. Mommy. Michael folded the letter with trembling hands. Carly silently placed a hand on his shoulder. Nina stood in front of the courthouse in handcuffs, the weight of her choices finally catching up with her. As reporters screamed questions and Sonny turned his back, she whispered to herself, I lost them all, because I couldn't stop myself. Willow, on the other hand, stood barefoot in a garden, looking toward the horizon. She was coming back, not as the broken woman Nina left behind, but as a force reborn. And when she returned, it would not be in shame, but in strength. Because true mothers fight through fire, not hide behind it.